What have you been eating? The man replied, well, all I could think of is about 4 months ago my wife made some asparagus and put some stuff on it that was delicious, hollandaise sauce, and I loved it so much that I now put it on everything, meat, toast, fish, vegetables, everything. Well, said Dr. Gosse, that's probably the problem. Hollandaise sauce is made with lots of lemon juice, which is highly corrosive. You remember this, Dick? It's eaten away your upper plate, but I'll make you a new plate. And this time around I'll use chrome. Why chrome? Asked the patient. And Dick replied, it's simple. Everyone knows that there's no plate like chrome for the holidays. I mean, that's the kind of guy that we go to. Open wider, requested Dr. Gosse as he began his examination of the patient. Good God, he said, you've got the biggest cavity I've ever seen. The biggest cavity I've ever seen. Okay, Doc, replied the patient. I'm scared enough without you saying something like that twice. I didn't, said the dentist. That was the echo. Gosse says to a patient, he says, look, I have to pull that aching tooth, but don't worry, it will just take 5 minutes. And the patient said, and how much will it cost? And Dick Gosse said, $150. The patient said, wow, $150 for just a few minutes work? And Dick said, I can extract it very slowly. I mean, that's the kind of a guy he is. Pardon me for a moment, said the dentist to the victim, but before beginning this work, I must have my drill. Good heavens, man, exclaimed the patient irritably. Can't you pull the tooth without a rehearsal? That's why they call it a dental practice, I guess. Now, Dick has seen a lot of patients come through his office from many different professions. He had a judge come through one day, and the judge looked at him, and he said, before you start working on my teeth, do you swear to pull the whole tooth and nothing but the tooth? Well, Dick's dentist office had a husband and wife that entered one day, and the husband said, I want a tooth pulled. I don't want gas or Novocaine because I'm in a terrible hurry. Just pull the tooth as quickly as possible. You're a brave man, said Dick Gosse. Now show me which tooth it is. The husband turned to his wife and said, open your mouth, honey, and show him which tooth. You know, when I heard that Dick Gosse was retiring late in the month of December, I called the office because I hadn't heard anything about a retirement gig, and I thought, you know, if they don't have a party or something like this, Dick is a humble enough guy that he'd probably go right into retirement without anything like this. And so I asked the staff members, are you doing anything? And they said, yeah, we're having a little event down in the lower level of our dental practice office. And I said, what day will that be? And they told me, and I said, do you mind if I stop by? And they said, no. Did you want to crash the party? And I said, yes, because I am kind of a shy guy. And Dick had served on the Appleton City Council and for many terms, and they wouldn't re-elect me, so I didn't serve a second term. You might get an idea of why as I'm standing up here. But Dick served on the county board, and he was all over in his community. And so I went down to Tim Hanna's office, and I talked with his secretary, and Tim was out of the office, and I said, perhaps we can put a little something together for Dick and get Tim to sign it. And she said, I think that could be done. And so this was the Dental Health Day proclamation from Mayor Tim Hanna's office back on December 30th of 2009. And it says this: whereas Dick Gosse is a graduate of Marquette University School of Dentistry, and whereas Dick Gosse has owned and operated a dental practice in Appleton for several decades and has provided years of expert dental care and professional services to clients, young and old, fat and skinny, those with clean teeth and those with gross and disgusting oral and dental care. And whereas Dick Gosse has only been bitten twice by a patient and both times by the same person on separate visits, thereby demonstrating a calm and forgiving heart, even while undergoing rabies shots. And whereas Dick Gosse has given his time and talent to the City of Appleton City Council and the Outagamie County Board for many years, And whereas Dick Gosse and his wife Karen were the first of 54 founding donors of the Environmental Stewardship Fund within the Community Foundation of the Fox Cities. And whereas Dick Gosse has volunteered his services to Cub Scouting and Boy Scouting, to his church and to other benevolent organizations in and around the Fox Cities. And whereas he is a good father and a granddad setting a positive example for all to follow, therefore, be it now resolved that I, Timothy M. Hanna, Mayor of the City of Appleton, do hereby proclaim December 30th, 2009 as Dick Gosse Dental Health Day in the City of Appleton, and urge all of his friends and business associates to acknowledge Dick and his numerous contributions to our city, our county, and the surrounding region for so many years. And when attending his staff farewell retirement party gathering in the lower level of his office building, please be certain to bring an ample supply of sugared candy bars, angel food candy, high-calorie fudge bars, bazooka bubble gum, several cans of Jolt soft drink, and a gift certificate for cotton candy at the next county fair. Signed, sealed this day, 30th December 2009, from to Dr. Gosse from Timothy M. Hanna. There are probably many of you who have other stories that you could recount, but you didn't call upon me to recount only my own. Let's call upon Dr. Edwards to come up and share a few words with us. Would you do that, please?
Most of the stuff that I was going to say. As I look around the room and I see everyone gathered here together, family, friends, colleagues, staff, former staff, it's just heartwarming to see everyone here. Every single person that's here tonight holds a dear place in Dick's heart. I know that, and I feel the same way. And it's really nice of you to honor Dick in this fashion. So, start with one of my favorite quotes here, and it's from a man named Henri Amiel, who was a Swiss cleric that lived around 1850. And the quotation goes like this: "Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel away with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind." And Dick, you've gladdened my heart for almost 41 years now. We first met in June of 1969, so we're getting close to a half a century of knowing each other. And thank you, Dick, for gladdening my heart for almost 41 years. And I think a lot of the people and everyone in this room knows you, and they would say the same thing. So. And I'm not going to dwell on Dick's dental career very much, because I know everyone in this room knows that Dick was an outstanding dentist. And so I think it goes without saying that his achievements are just very well known. So I won't go through those, but I did want to say some of the things that Dick talked about, and that was concerning Dick's service to the community. And I'm not sure exactly when that got started, but it was in place when I got here already, because I remember when we first got together, Dick, you were already volunteering as a basketball coach at Xavier High School, and I forget whether it was the freshmen or the JVs, but he did that for several years, and it was so much fun to go to those games. They had some really good teams back then, and it was great. And at the same time, he was a volunteer with the community drive, what's that called? United Way. And he was also on the board of the United Way, and at one point was even campaign co-chairman. So that was an organization he was involved with for quite a few years. He was also very active in our church, the church that Maynard Beamer was a pastor at. And Dick was on my usher team for 20 or 25 years, I think. And I see Dave Olson was back there, he was on that team. We had some competition over there with Phil and Tom Hempel and everything. They were on one of the other dental teams there, but we had a lot of fun together doing that. Thank you, Dick, for all that. And Dick was also moderator at the church, so that was I think Dick already mentioned that Dr. Gosse was involved with Boy Scouts when Jeff got into scouting, and that lasted for quite a few years. And Dick was very dedicated to that. And we know that Dick served on the Appleton City Council for 3 or 4 terms, Dick, wasn't it? And those were, what, 2 years apiece? And and that involved just, well, not only attending the meetings, but there was so much reading, so much to learn about the city and everything, and the subcommittees that you had extra meetings to go to. It was a lot of work. In our dental society, Dick was active in the society. He served as president back in the early 90s, I believe it was, Dick. And also served on the board of the Wisconsin Dental Association Paid Dental. It was an insurance program sponsored by the Wisconsin Dental Association, so Dick was always involved with that. And lastly, but not leastly, he's served 2 terms now with the Board of Supervisors of the Allegheny County. And now that he's retired from dentistry, he's not giving that up. He's running unopposed for another term starting in April. So, Dick, I think I'd like to be the first one to clap my hands and just say thank you for all you've done for your patients, for our dental office, and for the community of Appleton.
You know, here's what we'll do. You don't need me in the way for this. There are some folks with the office staff that are going to have some things to say, and I know there's a screen set up at the back of the room, and I'm assuming that's here for some reason, Jeff. But, you know, I can't, I just have to share because there's so many stories that are true, and here's another one. Dinner speaker was in such a hurry to get to his engagement that when he arrived and sat down at the head table, he suddenly realized that he'd forgotten his false teeth. Turning to the man next to him, he said, "I forgot my teeth." The man was Dr. Gosse. No, it wasn't. "I forgot my teeth," the man said, "No problem." And with that, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a pair of false teeth. "Try these," he said. The speaker tried them. "They're too loose," he said. And the man said, "Well, I have another pair. Try these." And the speaker tried them and responded, "They're just too tight." The man was not taken aback at all. He said, "Well, I have one more pair of false teeth. Try these." And the speaker said, "Wow, they fit perfectly." And with that, he ate his meal and he gave his address. And after the dinner was over, the speaker went over to thank the man who had helped him. "I want to thank you for coming to my aid," he said. "This was wonderful. Where is your office? I've been looking for a good dentist." The man replied, "I'm not a dentist, I'm the local undertaker." Stuff happens. Saw a bumper sticker like that one time. I don't think it said stuff, but the last one, and I'm going to turn it over to the office staff here. A young man saw an elderly couple sitting down to lunch at McDonald's, and he noticed that they had ordered one meal and an extra drink cup. As he watched the gentleman carefully divide the hamburger in half and count out the fries, one for him, one for her, one for him, one for her, until each of them had half. And then he poured half of the soft drink into the extra cup, and he set it in front of his wife. The old man began to eat, and his wife sat watching, with her hands folded in her lap. And the young man decided to ask if they would allow him to purchase another meal, so that they didn't have to split theirs. And the old gentleman said, "Oh no, we've been married 50 years, and everything always has been and always will be shared 50-50. The young man then asked the wife if she was going to eat. She replied, "Not yet. It's his turn with the teeth." You know, to amplify what Dr. Edwards has stated about some of these county board activities and these city council things, I didn't run for re-election and get defeated. I just didn't rerun because it is so time consuming if you're going to do the job right. So I only served one term, and I thought someday I'm going to have to wait until maybe I'm retired and have a bit more time. If you're going to do it right, it takes time. And Dick was willing to take that time. And every time he went over to the council meetings, he was prepared. He had his act together. He had his questions prepared. He had done his homework, and I know he does the same thing with the county board activities as well. Somebody said to me one time at work, they said, "Oh, you get paid to be an alderman?" "Yeah, well, maybe I'll do that someday." And it ends up being about 50 cents an hour. I mean, really, Dick and other people who do that put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. The caliber of the community in which we live and grow up, and the place that we spend our lives and we spend our time growing with our families and working together to make things a better place is indicative of the people who do serve. And Dick Gusse's been willing to serve in volunteer positions and in paid county and board positions and so forth that don't pay a lot, and it requires a heck of a lot of time. And in addition to that, even in his dental practice and professional, as I know, he made many more holes in my mouth than were there to begin with. But for the most part, guys like Dick Gosse, you just don't find very often. And so I really appreciate the opportunity that we've had to associate together as scoutmasters and stuff like that. Dick, you've been an inspiration to me and for people around me. And I'm just very honored to have been asked to participate in some small way in your special night. So with that, I'm going to say good night and farewell, and I'm going to call on other people, and I'm out of here. So, I mean, I'm still there. Dick Gosse, congratulations. Thank you.
I've worked for Dr. Gosse and Dr. Edwards for almost 20 years now. It's the best job I ever had. A bunch of people at the office put together some kind of little anecdotes that had happened over the years, and we decided to put a poem together, just a short poem to, kind of reiterate some of the things that go on in the office there. The name of the poem is Ode to Dr. Gosse. Ode to the boss who not long ago was attached to dental floss and massive face bowl. Gone are the days of dentition and gold, only to be swapped with fluffing and fold. Words to the wise we did not mind. To Hawaii you'll go if that chart you will find. And the chickadees, oh how sad, how incredibly rude. No Dr. G giving premium food. No other dentist has displayed as much class, but now all is traded for the fishing of bass. Who is there to shut off the switches at night? Integrity and class will make it all right. On to the world of politics and grandkids, to save our green planet from the evil he rids. How we do miss him, it's just not the same. Who will despise Brett Favre and his game? Devoted is he to clean water and trails. The jewel of the north, from Seymour he hails. And so it is with great sadness and yet utter joy that we regard ourselves blessed to have been in his employ. Thank you.
Gosse, you can open this one first.
It's heavy.
It is. It's a puppy.
Vegan says it's SpongeBob.
Donna is a world-class scrapbooker.
Oh.
pictures throughout the times that when we built our
Oh my gosh.
office building. And by the way, Sylvester Theobald, I want you to stand up for just a second. If it wasn't for Sylvester, we probably wouldn't have had a dental practice because he built our dental office, he built my house, he built my cottage. I probably would have been a homeless person if it wasn't for him.
Believe everything he says.
He's a great guy. And this is tremendous. I'm sure I'm going to have some good times looking this up. Thank you.
We have more, so stay. The rest is all about you here.
It's a pretty big.
A bunch of grandkids who probably would love to tear into this. This is from all of our staff here. I still like to refer to them as our staff. Basically, Daryl's and Matt's now. I'll have to read this later. You girls want to help open some of these? There you go. Look at that. I have 8 grandchildren, 7 of them are here, and there's another one on the way. This is a Garmin GPS system, I believe.
Whoa.
What? No. Golf.
For golfing. Awesome.
Everybody here knows that I like to golf, and I think my short game is pretty good. My long game is getting less every year. And people like Jeff and Mark and the rest of you here and Aaron, really, I can't keep up with them on the long game, so maybe this will help me technology stay in the game a little competitively. So I appreciate this a lot. What do you think?
Breakable.
Oh. You have to help me with that. This is looks like a hanger for, oh my goodness. A very nice
Oh.
I think it says something.
You like that?
Wow.
That is good. Wow. Okay.
These guys are dentists and they can't read.
I can read it, I just can't see it.
Richard E. Gosse, DDS. Compassion, integrity, and leadership are only a few words that describe your distinguished 41-year career in dentistry. Congratulations on your retirement. Your grateful staff at Appleton Family Dentistry.
I'll be ready for any more of those with my glasses on. Well, thank you very much for that. Okay, we have more. Alrighty. Let's open this. Go ahead. Oh, stop right here. This is for Dr. Edwards.
I already had my retirement.
Well, they're going to open this for you. You better come up and get it. Go ahead.
Daddy, you're opening up his card.
Here's your card.
It's cash flow.
How did you get that picture? What is this?
Let's see it.
I'm trying to think where this was taken at here.
That is a gift from Sandy Phillips.
From Sandy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Where was it taken? How did she take
Yeah,
it?
it was outside the office. We took it at one meeting when she came by and the four of us came out.
Oh, yeah, on the side of her office.
Oh, that's outside, right outside our,
So we've got another copy of that hanging in the office now.
do you really?
It's a picture of Bill and I and Matt and Daryl. This was taken probably, about maybe a year and a half ago or something like that? No, not that
Well,
long
this is
ago.
really nice to have. I can
No,
Just this summer.
yeah.
This is summer. Thank you very, very much. You can certainly tell the two guys that are ready for retirement. Young guys.
Dick and I are smiling a lot.
Is it my turn?
Jordan,
I'll let them all leave.
SpongeBob one from all you guys.
Oh, this is from the grandkids. I guess. Bring it around town. All right. Oh, this is great. This is a calendar, and probably a lot of you might have some of these with your kids or grandkids, but every month there's a picture of all 8 of our grandkids on here. And I had a copy of, in the year 2009, I had this in operatory number 3, and I used to get a lot of comments from patients on that. And working away on there, I just, every once in a while, I look up there and think, this is why I'm working to fund those Smart 529 funds for the education. And, so anyway, so someday you'll understand what I just said. It's pretty important. Thank you very much. Look at that. Yeah, this is more presents than I've gotten the last 2 Christmases. All right, is this from one of you? This is from... Oh, this is from some of our former employees, John and Nancy Belling, Jim and Linda Gareth Hoffner, Ken and Helen McClellan, whom I think are in Florida at the present time, Marv and Rita Netting, Hank and Barb Succo, who are in Arizona. But the other people, I wish you'd please stand up. These are some very valued employees from the past, not that far from the past. Please all stand up. Ladies really helped us a lot and worked for us for a lot of years. And, you know, just, in fact, they instructed a lot of our present staff. Like Rita, for instance, did all of our bookwork and was our financial person, and Kim, who was 19, Kim, stand up a second, 19 years old when we hired her. And which was 10 years ago. Just a super business person and great with finances, helping to help her, and Rita was very valuable to us even after she retired. But she helped make Kim just a super person, and she runs our office probably as well as anybody in this city. I really mean that. Oh, yes, there's a certificate in here or something. There's a baseball cap for Gander Mountain, and I think there was a certificate here. I believe. And a card. I'm sorry I misplaced that here. There's so many things up here. There we go. Right. There's a Gander Mountain gift certificate. Thank you very much. Okay. Kids want to open this? David, you're getting pushed aside by these girls. Look, David. Oh, I think I know where this came from.
We know all about that.
This, yes. Bonnie and Stash Wonky. Stash Wonky, what the both of you ought to stand up. These are some very dear friends of Karen's and mine. Stash and I, Bonnie, we all graduated from Seymour High School. Used to be the Seymour Indians, but now it's the Seymour Thunder. Stash was a very good athlete up there in those days, and he's really into photography now. And this happens to be, that's at our cottage, right? This is a picture, he and I were out fishing about maybe 6, 7 years ago already. And he took this photograph. I remember him taking in the fall of the year. This was just around the bend from where our cottage was.
that's gorgeous.
And he gave me a postcard, a couple of them, and to this day I have them in my desk at home, and I've always kept them. But this is really neat. And he does some really great photography work. He actually sells some of his work through somebody up in Door County. And he really does do a good job. And he's had stuff displayed here at the Appleton Public Library and Mosquito Hill. So I don't view this as an amateur photograph at all. So thank you very much. And this is for Grandpa. You know, not too many years ago, I didn't know if I'd like that sound, but I like it a lot now. My dad, I have brother, sister, and I have 3 kids. The biological kids, Jeff, Dina, and Emily. And when they were small, my dad would always say, you know, we really like you kids, but we really like your kids. Now I know what he meant. And this is from Dave, Elizabeth, and Rachel. David, Elizabeth, where are you? And Rachel. And it says, have fun. Thank you very much for that.
You didn't your glasses.
No, I didn't need glasses for that. There's more. There's more. My goodness. This is for the Gosse.
He's checking who it's for.
It's not Santa.
This is a hard one. You open this.
Is this for Olivia?
Okay. This is from Wanda Maynard Beamer. Wanda Maynard had been friends of Karen's and mine for many years. And he's been a minister in our church, and he still is a retired minister in our church, but he's meant a lot to our family through the years. And we try to get Maynard and Wanda up to our cottage at least once a year. We didn't make it last year because we were too busy and they were too busy. I think they were busier than we were. But like Maynard alluded to earlier, Maynard's quite a fisherman. He is really a better fisherman than I am. But we go out there and even though we don't catch fish, we probably solve at least 2 of the world's problems. We're out there, or come close to it. So
We almost caught a loon.
there's tape on the and here, I think I've just narrowed the gap between us. He's just given me some good plugs here. All right. That might be the start of your undoing here. So thank you very much. We'll have to try these out together in a few months. So thank you very much for that. Just a minute. All right, I think that I opened everything. Julie? All right.
I'll make this short and sweet. I have a little serious, a little funny. I'm Jeff Gosse. I've been working for Dr. Gosse for 31 plus years. And I really was looking forward, I haven't really been into fishing, and I was looking forward to learning a lot from my dad, but Maynard, give me a call, because I need to know. I really grew up at the dental office, literally. I napped in the now conference room. My toys were in the cabinets. I linked all the paper clips on Kim's desk together every night. I would hide spiders on Dawn, and I'm sure I thought it was funnier than it really was. But it's a real special place in my heart, and a lot of people helped me grow up there, and it's just real special. And my dad never forced, I don't think, any of us to want to be dentists, but I went to college thinking I was going to be a dentist or a teacher. And I remember the day that I did not want to be a dentist anymore. I had a dream. And the dream kind of went like this. I still remember this because it was an important part of my life. I was about to do a 3-surface amalgam on a patient. And I was preparing the patient, and I gave him 1 carp of lidocaine with a 100,000 of epinephrine, of course. And we were going to excavate the distal on number 3. And I always use a 330 burr. And usually I reuse the burrs, 3 to 4 times, or 3-4 weeks. I reuse them. But unbeknownst to me, my assistant put in a new burr into my high speed. And with the littlest of pressure, I penetrated the pulp chamber. And blood got on my new tie. And I thought to myself, I'm going to have to do another free root canal. And that was it for me. I went into teaching. That was it. So, I just like to say, though, I've only had one hero in my life. It's been my father. His work ethic, his fight for what's good, his efficiency and his drive in everything he does in putting family first and everyone else first has really been a model for me. And I just hope every day that I try to live up to that, and he's really taught me a lot, and I'm sure all of us, he's taught a lot too. So I'm sure others would like to say things too, but first I'd like to go to a little more funny, and we have a little something on the screen in the back. So if you could have your attention to the other side.
Happen instead. Before I begin, I just want to ask, if you want to dance with Dick, will it cost you $1? Can't?
We'll turn it up.
Do you want me to tell a joke twice? It wasn't bad enough the first
Yeah.
time. Turn it up?
On.
There's a switch right in the middle.
You know what? You're the one who's high tech. I'm still yelling. You're the one that could get things to work in a classroom, not me, man. Okay, before I begin, if you want to dance with Dick, will it cost you $1 this evening? Okay. This is from I'm Kieran's sister. For those of you who haven't seen me getting my teeth cleaned for free. What can I say about Dick Gosse that hasn't already been said or avoided? Okay. Young Abe Lincoln, that's what we call him. If you do the math, you see that Abe would be about 200 years old, and that's where the young comes from. Okay. We have known Dick for over 20 years, even before Doug needed dental work. Dick is such a clean-living person, he squeaks. We were hoping that marrying into our family would loosen him up a bit. It didn't. It tightened my sister. We use the finger sign as a sign of affection in my family.
Quite often.
Once. That's her brother, that's her younger brother, by the way. My older brother. I once, only once, gave Dick this sign. I thought it was funny. I was alone. Karen said that no one had ever given him the finger. Ever. I said, just not to his face. I am no longer allowed to show him this sign of affection. Years ago, we went on 2 cruises together, and it was great. Since Dick doesn't drink, he didn't have to conserve his energy and sweat out all that alcohol. He was up bright and early and walking, jogging, bicycling, and generally annoying those of us who were actually enjoying ourselves. His favorite island had to be Antigua, where we had walked one New Year's Day. He actually found an open dental office and got to look around and talk to that dentist. Caribbean dental technology is not exactly state-of-the-art,
It was somewhere between a pair of pliers and a string and a doorknob. But Dick applied for a job anyway. He is still waiting for the interview. His least favorite island had to be Martinique, where we were walking when he was hit by a man on a Vespa. Obviously, the driver didn't know that he hit a dentist, or he would have finished the job. That's another aspect of young Abe. He doesn't let it bother him that a lot of people don't like going to the dentist. I like going to the dentist. It means shopping, visiting my sister, and a new toothbrush. Well worth the drive. If you think you'll miss him, imagine how we freeloaders feel. Back to vacations. Dick is a party wherever he goes. Clean living, nice guy, but that is only one aspect of his personality. Then there is Green Dick Gosse, the man with a Prius, solar panels, and a bicycle. I admire his commitment to environment. He is again a role model we can all admire. Not necessarily envy, but admire. There is Dick Gosse, statesman, first in the Appleton City Council and then in Outagamie County. His commitment to making the earth better is without equal and without envy. Let's face it, we admire Dick for his determination and integrity, but we'll let him do the work. Which he does tirelessly. Even Gandhi would be impressed. Then there's Dick the family man. He loves kids, he loves dogs, but he doesn't love cats. I guess it's important for everyone to have some flaws. We have cats. Dick will not stay at our house because of this. He thinks that this is just a coincidence. We keep replacing cats if one dies. This is just a coincidence. He is a great dad and granddad, I'm sure. He loves all these people very, very much, and they love him, even the dental part. You can tell by those great teeth and beautiful smiles. So in conclusion, you're really not retiring. You're just still waiting for that interview in Antigua.
Well, that definitely is a hard act to follow. I just have just a few comments I do want to make here this evening. I just want to thank Appleton Family Dentistry for all the efforts that all of you put in to make this really a special night. I knew this was going to be a special night, but I had no idea that this was going to be this special. And Jeff, thank you for all the work you put in that. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I was mentioning to Karen and to Jeff here too that people in this room are the dearest friends in my whole life, not just family, but the rest of you here too. You've all been a big part of my life, and I really have a deep feeling for all of you. And I appreciate everybody coming up here. Jeff Schwengel and his wife Judy coming up from Cedarburg. Especially want to thank them. I want to thank all our kids and grandkids for being here. Especially I want to thank Dina, their friend Aaron Smith, for coming all the way from Seattle. Picked them up at the airport yesterday. I want to thank Kieran's brother, Ron Bowman, and his friend Karen Downey, who came from Springfield, Illinois this morning. And of course, Doug and Linda Cannon coming from Chicago. So people came a long ways, and I do appreciate that, and it means a lot to me. Dentistry is really a great profession, and every dentist, and there are a number of you in here, some orthodontists, some oral surgeons, some general dentists, and all the people who are auxiliaries, hygienists, assistants, people in the front office. I've thoroughly enjoyed the 41 and a half years I've had practicing. It was a joy and a privilege to work with Dr. Edwards for 38 years. We met each other in the service. Vietnam was going on in those days when we graduated in '68, and we had to get our service obligation out of the way, and our paths crossed for 1 year in Portland, Maine. And I knew Bill was really a good dentist. In fact, he and I broke the record at that clinic, which had been there for a lot of years, for 1 year, and the amount of production we did as 2 dentists. So I thought this guy's got something going for him. So I came back here to Appleton in 1970, and after 1 year I was booked up for 8 weeks and really busy, and I really needed a partner. And there were 4 criteria that I had for if I was going to be having a partner. And one was this person would have to do excellent dentistry. Number 2, they'd have to be honest. Number 3, they'd have to have a good work ethic. Number 4, they'd have to be a caring and compassionate person. And Bill Edwards was my choice to be a partner with. And I think I told you this story at his retirement, but just real briefly, I'll tell it again. I called him up, invited him to come out here, and he said no. 10 minutes later, Mary Edwards, his wife, called me back and says, he's coming. She didn't want to make a career in the service. So Bill came back, took the boards at Marquette University a year later. The Zilke building right out there on the 7th floor, 714. We were there for 8 years. And then we built the building that we're now, Dr. Koppelman and Dr. Young are going to do some great dentistry and already have. So I'm sure that Dr. Edwards shares my feelings that one of our major accomplishments was to assemble the high-quality staff that worked with us. This not only includes the staff that is up there right now, but all those people, many of them here this evening, that worked for us and helped us 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever time it took to make sure that I felt that they were capable of taking care of our practice. And about in October, I had no doubt that these guys got what it takes. So they're going to do a good job for Appleton Family Dentistry and our staff. We still got that great same staff up there, and I know I'm going back to have my teeth done there. So. But the main reason why I've decided to retire from practice is my family. I'm looking forward to playing more golf and fishing with them and doing more babysitting. And I've just got done babysitting for Emily, my younger daughter, 2 days earlier this week, and boy, did I play a lot of Barbie dolls. I didn't know there were so many things you could do with Barbie. And I think that I make a pretty good big bad wolf, too. The most important person to thank for me here this evening is Karen. And Karen, she's always been there when I needed advice, when I needed encouragement. And there's no doubt that she's made me a better person. So I'd like to thank her. So let me close by saying to the docs and to the staff at Appleton Family Dentistry, as some of you already know, because I stopped up to the office and mentioned this to you about 2 weeks ago, I intend to stay in touch with you by buying you lunch every other month on the 3rd Wednesday, because on Wednesdays we don't have any scheduled patients in the afternoon, so they are going to order the lunch and have it there. I will pay for it, and I will also bring dessert. And I just want to assure the entire staff, especially Cindy Porter, that it won't be veggies or fruit, it will be chocolate.